Why are levels of employee engagement globally still tragically so low? And they have not improved and even declined in a post-COVID world. One would have thought that we had made some progress learning about humanity during COVID, but sadly not. And you would have thought that during COVID that we understood that people just crave connection, that people really do want relationships, that people now have many more choices than they had before. Clearly, people want a lot more flexibility. And bottom line is that I think that people have discovered that they want to be treated as human beings, not as human doings. And yet, what are we doing in the world of work? What are we doing in leadership? What are organizations doing to come to terms with those realities? The second question that has bugged me for many years is that companies say people are our greatest asset. And then why don't we treat them as our greatest asset? And I think it comes as well when we start talking about the people function as a human resource function. To me, a resource is an object of labor, is an object to be used to turn into some kind of production or an object of production. And I think that by dehumanizing even the people department of an organization by calling it human resource, that in itself already is a concern. Another question I have is, to what extent is legislation in our various jurisdictions, countries, a key culprit or something we hide behind in dehumanizing our work environment? Certainly in South Africa, I know there's been this huge drive in pursuit of equity and fairness. But the world over, there's been a drive for a lot more equity in the world of work. And I think that in many cases, this has been legislated, and we now hide behind that legislation and risk losing the individual magic of people, because people are now being kind of all put in bands, and I'll get onto that a bit more in a moment. And I think that the human resource or people departments are now relying too much on process and systems in pursuit of getting equity and fairness to make sure that everyone is graded the same, they're all in the right bands and that in many ways takes out the individuality of people in our worlds of work.